Hi, sir, to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. in Douala. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us. Majestaris right away, shock and consternation in Garwa as a 17-year-old boy kills his mother and leaves the corpse in a pool of blood. The teenager reportedly used a machete to kill his mother following a dispute between the two. He attempted to escape to Nigeria but was caught at the border by security forces. We will be bringing to you details of that horror in this edition of the news. Plus, heavy rains cause floods and slows down businesses in most cities in Cameroon. We will be presenting to you the areas severely inundated in the economic capital Douala and also in the nation's political capital Yaounde in this edition of the news. Details of those stories and more when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We take you first to Garwa to take this human interest story. In the North region, a 17-year-old boy is in the dragnet of security forces. Local sources say Iliasu killed his mother, 49-year-old, in the course of a dispute. After committing the horrible act, he left his mother in a pool of blood, Iliasu, and escaped. He was arrested in the border between Cameroon and Nigeria. Let's now have more with Lucy Isie.
Shock and consternation grieves the inhabitants of Marari in Garwa subdivision as a 17-year-old kills his mother and abandons her corpse in a room. The lifeless body of the woman, lying in her own pool of blood, was discovered hours after she was killed. According to sources, the woman gave her son money to get oil, but rather he used the cash for something else. Trying to caution Iliasu, he used a block on his mother's head. Immediately, the 17-year-old committed the act. He ran away from the neighborhood. It was thanks to reports that the security forces of Pumpumre Territorial Gendarmerie Brigade launched investigations. The investigations led to the arrest of the 17-year-old. He is currently being interrogated by security forces, and in the days ahead, he will face competent judicial authorities.
In a related story, 4 suspected bandits have been arrested by gendarmes here in the economic capital Douala. They are accused of burgling private homes and harassing the local population. They were also arrested alongside some human bone traffickers, as Malaglori tells us in a report which comes up next.
33-year-old Hamadu Salih is a suspected human bone trafficker that has been arrested by police officers and presented to the public. In the time of his arrest, he was caught in the possession of human bones. While in the Lendi neighborhood, Douala 5 subdivision, 4 other individuals were arrested, accused of terrorizing the area and breaking into homes. Residents complained that they have been giving them sleepless nights, and following this numerous complaint, an investigation was launched, and that led to their arrest. In the course of the operation, the suspects were caught in the possession of stolen bottles of wines, cutlasses, and other dangerous weapons. The individuals, aged between 26 and 36, were arrested by elements of the Littoral Delegation for National Security and are presently in detention for questioning.
And now we take you to the Northwest region. Traders in markets controlled by the Bamenda City Council are on strike. They are blaming the City Council for increasing the amount they pay as rent despite poor market infrastructure and deplorable business environment because of the armed conflict in the Northwest region. Boo Stella has the details from Bamenda.
With placards in their hands bearing their grievances, traders in markets across Bamenda have been protesting since Thursday, April 4th. It is not the first time markets are grounded by protesting traders, but the reasons are same.
We are angry about the increase of shirts that increase our payments. A quarter is 24,000. Now we're paying a quarter for 38,000. I, for one, am renting the shed. I pay to my landlord before I pay to council, so it's very difficult. The increase is too much on us.
At the Nkwen Market, Equinoxe Television met an open market, no traders and stranded buyers. The traders, majority of whom are women, are accusing city council authorities of doubling their rents despite deplorable market conditions.
We have toilets, but our main problem here is water. We don't have water. There is no water in this market. Even where to dump dirt, we don't have any place. We are dumping dirt in the stream down there, and the stream is even full. So inside the market, we don't have. Places are rough. The market they are not repairing, nothing is going in the market.
Equinoxe Television contacted Bamenda City Mayor Paul Achombong for comments on the situation, but he is yet to respond.
In another story, heavy rains have caused floods across the national territory today, and most businesses were negatively affected in the nation's political capital, Yaounde, precisely in Wada. For me, I'm Transanda now tells us more on the situation in Yaounde.
This is the outcome of the heavy downpour that hit the political capital city of Cameroon, Yaounde, between Wednesday and Thursday, April the 4th, 2024. We are at a place known as Voirie Municipal in Yaounde, few meters away from the famous post-central roundabout in the heart of the city. To Yaounde city dwellers, it has become a tradition that spectacular displays are served here together with survival strategies on this spot each time it rains heavily in Yaounde. Passages from all the angles are blocked, rendering private vehicles, township taxis, commercial motorcycles and pedestrians all helpless.
Je sors comme ça de Borno 12. On est parti de Borno 12.
This city dweller is among the people having a difficult time on this port. He left Mvokbi for the Hizakam headquarters in Yaounde before being stopped at the Voirie Municipal. Stuck in traffic congestion for hours, he had to jump out, remove his shoes and walk through. Another consequence is inundations and floods with devastating consequences on nearby houses, like the case of the CPT and Fundi Party house here in the picture. The heavy flood in Yaounde also created lines of traffic congestions, paralyzing economic and social activities across the city.
Je suis sortie ce matin à 7 heures comme d'habitude.
She left her house at 7 a.m. but finally arrived at her office at 9 a.m. on a distance she covers in 30 minutes on normal days. The flood, according to Yaounde city dwellers, reveals a problem with the urban planning nature of the city as well as the impact of anarchical construction. Considering the huge economic and social consequences, Yaounde city dwellers say that they expect lasting solutions from their municipal authorities.
We stay in the central region. In its 17 years of existence, Bong Buu subdivision still remains enclaved or underdeveloped. The lack of social amenities such as potable water have forced civil servants who were sent there to work in Bong Buu to abandon those in need of their services to their fate while they remain in Ebolova. In the report which comes up next month, Jikan Gabriel presents to us the ugly face of Bong Buu.
The poor state of road networks in Bong Buu village is one of the first difficulties that anyone heading to the village located in the south region of Cameroon will confront. Just the thickness of the mud and deep potholes frightens the passengers. Traveling on about 50 kilometers stretch of road, we've spent about 2 to 3 hours because of the poor roads and rainy season. We cultivate with ease, but how do we transport them to the main markets in town? We can't do otherwise because it's very costly. We pay 2,000 francs CFA for a short distance of about 20 kilometers. Cars, fondly called OPEP, virtually disappear from the roads and motorcycles becomes the lone option left. The bike riders cry out for help on this road which have been abandoned. The president has forgotten us. We don't have roads, potholes and mud everywhere, and we have hills here that we are unable to climb. I pay 2,000 francs CFA as control fee. We are obliged to price our passengers passengers very high, particularly in the rainy season. In addition to the poor state of roads, the lack of power supply in Bong Buu is another nightmare to its inhabitants. I'm trying to patch up this way because I want to charge my telephone. For the past 2 months, we've not seen electricity. We used to have power supply, but we woke up one morning and discovered that is gone. Till date, it has not returned. Getting medical care in Bong Buu is another challenge as the existing health facilities call for attention. Bong Buu subdivision, situated some 30 kilometers away from Eboloa, is dying in silence 17 years after its creation. Notwithstanding the proximity to Eboloa, the inhabitants of the 45 villages that make up Bong Buu are still fighting to emerge from underdevelopment, a situation that has caused most government workers transferred to the area to remain in Eboloa, abandoning those in need to their own fate.
Now we talk business. The shortage of palm oil in the local market has forced households to purchase at a high cost. The Cameroon Development Corporation's Group Oil Palm Manager, Kulu Daniel, reveals to Equinoxe Television that it is due to a drop in palm oil production caused by insecurity, increased costs of inputs, shortage of labor force, destruction of palms by illegal settlers on the CDC plantation, and several other factors. Innocent Azek completes the story for us.
The unbearable cost of palm oil on the local markets stems from shortage provoked by drop in production at CDC and palm oil in the southwest region, with the Anglophone crisis a major cause.
In Fasco here, in Jiang, smallholders cannot operate freely. The other aspect is labor. So many people this way have fled to other areas. Enough crop that is already ripe on the trees, and we cannot take them out. If we don't have the vehicles to carry them there, the crop will get rotten on the trees. You go to the mill, you cannot mill because those mills were destroyed.
Away from insecurity are other reasons.
Present hike in prices of the inputs, be it fertilizer, herbicides that we use in keeping our plantations clean, and then boosting the production. The reduction of the planted areas too. Surrender of land has reduced the palms plantations very, very drastically. We've lost close to 5,000 hectares of oil palm through surrender. As the area is reducing, the production as well is reducing. Added to that, the palms are getting old. We have to replant. So if the areas of the younger palms have been reduced, the older palms will not give you the production the younger palms were supposed to give.
Establishments of new villages like Binde, for instance, on the secure and reliable CDC land in Moliwe is a threat to palm trees.
Our recovery as a corporation hangs completely on the effective exploitation of every one palm tree, every one rubber tree, and every one banana plant.
No matter the severity of the situation, it is still possible to boost palm oil production at CDC and palm oil for its sufficient availability in domestic markets.
The fertilizers and the herbicides that we have need to be subsidized to encourage. Then tax credit too. Those tax exoneration too can be a source of us having the ability to recover our plantations. Same with our transport fleet.
Hope is for these possible solutions to get on the rails.
Now we come back to this story which has been on every lip, be it single or married persons. The rate of divorce cases has been on an increase in Cameroon, especially in major cities. This week, over 100 divorce cases were published at the Ndokoti Court of First Instance here in Douala. What is the reason many couples now go for divorce? Our reporter Mala Glory spoke with a marriage counselor and put together this report.
Just like in other courts in Cameroon, the increasing number of divorce cases at the Ndokoti High Court of First Instance in Douala has been attributed to several factors. Being materialistic, focusing on the financial status or physical appearance of the other, and when all this disappears, they see no reason for staying in marriage. Some experience domestic violence in their homes. Traditional leaders opine that the many divorce cases is due to the fact that some youths have neglected their culture when it comes to marriage, while parents no longer prepare their children as was the case in the yesteryears. Traditionally, marriage involves two families, and there are rituals you carry out during such a traditional marriage, such as the young people drink from the same cup, and the family head make them to understand that once they drink from this cup, they can return the drink. Some of these youths lack marriage training from either their parents or in-laws. To limit this increasing number of divorce cases, marriage counselors advise that man should go back to its roots. They should respect the institution of marriage. Man today needs to understand the meaning of friendship, love, and they need time to know each other, say from 6 months and above. According to the family law system in Cameroon, husbands and wife can both initiate divorce proceedings. Courts will grant a divorce where there is mutual consent. Also, if one spouse has deserted the other for a period of 1 year, married life is broken down or adultery has set in.
We will be talking more on that in the second part of the news. And now over to sports. The 2024 National Fasco League A Games kicked off at the seaside resort town of Limbe despite threats and fear from separatist fighters in that area. David Sidmaimo in the report which comes up next says security has been reinforced in Limbe as the games are ongoing.
A security situation of the seaside resort city of Limbe has been beefed up following the arrival of all 10 regional representatives for the 2024 Fasco League A Games currently taking place. Security posts and patrols of the different defense and security units have been doubled to protect the various delegations against any form of threat or hostility from the Anglophone separatist fighters. For 1 week, the secondary school students shall not only defend their respective regions, but also show off their sport prowess and talent. Fasco League A officials say the lodging site for the students has been equipped with the most basic necessities such as mattresses, a standby generator in case of power failure, and the provision of a constant flow of potable drinking water. Competing in 12 different sporting disciplines, the colorful opening took place at the Limbe Omnisport Stadium with more than 2,000 students drawn from all 10 regions, marching and waving the green, red and yellow colors of the Cameroonian flag, showcasing their love and patriotism for the nation. The Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, alongside the Minister for Sport and Physical Education, Professor Nancy Smwele, accompanied by the Southwest Regional Boss, Governor Bernardo Kalabilai, and the Limbe City Mayor, Paul Efomeli Sombengale, among others, officially opened the 2024 Fasco League A monument constructed at the Government High School Limbe premises. Among the dignitaries was the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, whose presence caught the attention of the population. Other activities for this year's Fasco League A Games shall include a workshop for teachers on gender-based violence. The first day of the secondary school's Olympic Games was graced with the finals of the Professor Nalova Lyonga Football and Handball Cup for teachers, which the Southwest region crowned as champions in both games. The seaside resort city of Limbe remains a safe haven within the context of the more than 6 years ongoing Anglophone crisis.
That report brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Thank you, viewers, for being there. Don't go away. Talking Point comes up next. Welcome back, viewers. Today we are talking about the increasing rate of divorce in Cameroon, especially in major cities. And our guest tonight is Yvonne Mumabi. She is a gender activist and a civil society actor. Madam, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. Now we are talking about the frequent cases of divorce in Cameroon, especially in big cities. In Douala, at the Ndokoti Court of First Instance, about 100 cases of divorce were published. According to you, as a gender activist and a civil society actor, what can be the causes of marriages crumbling nowadays?
Yeah, when we mention divorce, it's something between two persons. Marriage is crumbling. I think it's a deep study that we need to further carry out, because It takes two to get a marriage. And until there is a money, you cannot talk of divorce. So if the rate of divorce has increased, we should question the sociological aspects of the life of Cameroonians. Something must be going on to have prompted. You mentioned the two main cities or the big cities because we can easily run to the courts and record. I don't think it's only in the cities, but social cohesion in general has a problem. We have a problem of sustenance in Cameroon, and I think that's one of the main causes of the rampant or the growing rate of divorces.
And now, as a gender activist, Madam Muma, what are some of the factors that must be taken into consideration before marriage is concretized for it to be long-lasting?
Yes, I always define marriage like a union. It's a union or a contract that two people agree to come together and seal. There should be prenuptials. The youth, most especially, because I think if you check the number of divorces, if you want to go by age gradient, it will be the youth. Marriage is not an institution you hurry into. Marriage is an institution you take your time and plan it together, using different strata from the family. If it's going to be court and church, you need services in all the spaces where these children are advised as to what the life of a couple is. Marriage has no formula. It's not mathematics. So it's a union that is built by two people, but they must take their time before taking that decision
seems to be a thing of the girl child. That's what we have noticed in the society, especially our African society. Meanwhile, marriage involves two persons, the man and the woman. Why is it that only girls are trained for marriage most times, and why should the boy child or boy children be prepared for the institution of marriage, which is sacred?
Those are the gender stereotypes we must fight against. I began by saying it's a union of two persons. Bring up, even their upbringing from the homes, they should already be trained to be responsible. If we dream of them becoming married tomorrow, you don't let the boy go astray. You guide the girl through the kitchen, through taking care of the baby and all, and you suddenly want a perfect union for your daughter or for your son. We need to bring the two together, counsel them, even test them on certain societal issues to see if they are ready to get into a union. Marriage is sacred. The rate at which they are breaking shows a breaking link in the society.
Thanks for that precision there. And now, what can be done by all the parties concerned, be the family, religious leaders, the society? What should be done to encourage couples and ensure that the divorce rates really reduce?
To encourage couples, let's take time to counsel our children. I talk here like a parent of married children. I never take the side of my own children. I always put myself on the side of the opposite sex. For my son, I take the side of his wife, and I make sure they live an upright life in their homes. We, the parents, should not just abandon and stop this issue of telling girls it's your role to build. It's a thing for two. It takes two to tango. And the boy will feel it should be a partnership. We talk of gender roles, we talk of girls asking for their rights and all of that today. Even to the girl child, I tell you, you want to have your rights in the home, be ready to contribute towards the growth of that home. If we bring in 50-50, it's a complementary couple. Finances are not the only anchor. Communication is key. We should talk, discuss issues. When they discuss issues, they're easily resolved. And there is a serious problem of third parties. Don't go to your friends. There is no friend who, even married and is not comfortable in their home, who would like to see you comfortable in your home. Build your union on communication, sincere communication, and that marriage will not fail.
Communication is key. That is really important. Now, is there any case when divorce should be permitted? Like when somebody's life, a spouse's life is in danger? Because nowadays it seems divorce is badly perceived by the society and couples are forced to stay in toxic marriages. Are there some cases where divorce can be permitted or separation?
There are so many cases, especially where violence reigns in the home. For the past 2 years, we've been recording the rate of feminicide in Cameroon. More women are dying because physically they can't compare with the men. Even the men, I don't think they went and got married to a woman to kill, because they lack the basis of a smooth marriage. He turns violent. Some parents were advised to say, if she is heady, beat her. But to my daughters and young girls out there, the first slap is already a red card. Know that if it's that person who has the tendency to beat, he will never stop beating. It is better to live alone than in a toxic relationship, or a relationship where one will die and the other will become a killer. Both. Imagine in couples, those feminicide cases, those couples with children, what crime did those children ask to be born in such a couple? And to the young men and men out there, consider that woman like your mother, your sister, your own daughter. You will not stretch your hand to beat. I say violence is the language of the weak or the complex. People should prenups, premarital counseling, and a lot of prenups should be done to make them find themselves on a level playing ground before they can engage in the institution called marriage. Let me repeat this. There is no formula for marriage. Marriage is not mathematics. It's a social concept. And if you decide to build it on love, anchor it on love, you will enjoy marriage, not interests. Young ladies, marriage is not a job. It's not an employment. Don't go and push through somebody's son to get it here and suddenly becomes violent on you. Be sure what you ask for, you can contribute for. Don't go and ask for a Lexus where you don't have money for its tire. Ask for what you can contribute, and you people put together. When it's your property, both of you, you enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Mal, for your contribution. Sure, you have helped a couple out there. And thank you again for your time. Even as you bereaved, you just lost your direct younger sister days back. Viewers, thank you so much for being with us. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television. Our programs continue. The news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. Equinoxe Soir at 7 p.m. Bye-bye for now.